How's everyone doing today? Welcome back to On The Ball. It is time for our Premier League predictions once again. 109 points to Sim, 115 points to myself. And obviously, the way the scoring works is 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result. And the star man, once you pick that man, you cannot pick them again for the rest of the season. 5 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist. And no 12:30 kickoff. We go straight to the 3 p.m s as a Brentford host Burnley at the G-Tech. Sim has gone for 1-1 here.
Yeah, I kind of feel like these are the games that Brentford struggle in against lower sides. Not going to give them the space that they like to play in. They're not going to be able to play those long passes over the top with as much joy as they have in some other games. And I think Burnley are one of those rare teams that aren't going to go to Brentford and just try and win or try and attack and try and play like open football and press them. So I do see Brentford struggling. And I think Burnley, I know they're obviously low down the table. I don't think they're a bad team though. And I think in most games they've been fairly competitive. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see anything but a Brentford win. I get what you're saying. I think Burnley will set up to stifle this Brentford side, but I do think they've got more than enough quality to break them down. You're looking at Brentford's home form. They've only lost one game at home all season. Burnley have only won one away game all season against Wolves, and I feel like it might be a kind of tight start with Brentford trying to break them down, but I think if once one goal goes in, I can see the game opening up a little bit and Brentford winning it quite comfortably by the end of it. So I've gone for 3-1 to Brentford. Now we move on to Manchester City against Leeds. Exactly the same scoreline. We've gone for 4-0 to Manchester City. Doesn't need much explanation, this one.
Shouldn't do anyway.
Yeah, I mean, look, Man City, I feel like whenever we go for a really convincing win for Man City, it always ends up like they lose or they draw or it's just like a tight win. But look, I feel like Leeds having a really hard time of it at the moment, quite open at the back. Man City, on the other hand, at home, they are, in really good form. I think last time out, when they lost to Newcastle, they just want to put that to the back of their minds and respond from that performance and to say, look, we're still here in the title race, particularly with Arsenal and Chelsea playing this weekend. It's really important that Man City send a bit of a message this weekend, so I'm going 4-0.
Yeah, and in midweek as well, they rested 10 players, 10 changes, which is probably what caused such a poor performance against Leverkusen. Obviously, Haaland being rested as well for a majority of that game. So they're going to be fresh for this one. There's a reason why they rested so many players, and clearly their focus was on this game, which is odd to say because Champions League is important, but they lost the game and they're going to want to put that right. Leeds have just lost a bit of momentum they had earlier in the season where it looked like, okay, they were kind of getting a few results, they were mid-table, getting some wins, and you think, are they going to be one of the teams staying up? But they're in really poor form now, and it seems as though their form is probably reverting to kind of the quality of the squad they do have, unfortunately for them. So don't expect much from them this weekend.
This next one's an interesting matchup. Sunderland against Bournemouth at the Stadium of Light. Sim's gone for a 2-1 win to Sunderland here.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth away from home aren't quite as good as they are at home. And I think Semenyo's still a doubt. I don't know if he's going to be fit or not. I think he's 50-50 apparently. So apparently he actually was injured, even though it was a proposal. He proposed while he was injured, it seems. Sunderland as well, the way they set up, they're so aggressive. And what they do as well, which they did well against Arsenal, is they like to bypass the opposition press, going long, winning their second balls, winning their duels, and could be a tactic that could work quite well against this Bournemouth side, who like to cause chaos. They like to play with a lot of pressing, a lot of energy. I think a lot of Semenyo, without Semenyo, it could be a struggle for Bournemouth here. So I went for a 2-1 win to Sunderland.
Yeah, I feel like just with these teams, it's like two good teams going at each other this weekend. I think Sunderland obviously got that really good draw against Arsenal, but the wins have kind of dried up a bit haven't won in their last 3 games. Bournemouth, on the other hand, as well, haven't won in their last 3 games, and I think it's only like 1 win in their last 6 or something like that. But in terms of Bournemouth, their last away win was when they beat us. They haven't won away since then. Sunderland and Bournemouth, though, are both drawing a lot of games. So I feel when that happens and two teams come up against each other in that kind of form, it does ultimately end up in a draw. I think Sunderland will come into this game thinking they can win. Bournemouth will come into this game thinking they can win as well. Two contrasting styles. I just feel they're just going to cancel each other out a little bit. So I've gone for 1-1. Everton against Newcastle. Both of us gone for Everton wins here. Sim's gone for 1-0. I've gone for 2-1. Newcastle, don't think they've got an away win all season. They've been really poor on the road. Everton, always a strong force at home. I think only lost 1 at home all season. Everton as well, like as much as they were on a bit of a bad run recently, I think they've turned it around a little bit of late in the last couple of games. So Newcastle struggling on the road specifically, and I don't think Wiss is going to be back for this. I think they've got a few more injuries in the front line. Not sure if Gordon's back. They just seem a bit toothless when they travel on the road. So I think Everton going to take advantage here, 2-1.
Yeah, I went 1-0. I also think Everton are going to win. Newcastle's horrendous away form, compounded again on midweek, losing to Marseille in a game where I was watching quite a bit of it, and they started bright, but as soon as Marseille gained control of the game, it was very difficult for Newcastle to get back in it, and they really struggled. Everton obviously got a massive morale-boosting win against Man United last time out with 10 men. That should give them a lot of confidence going into this one. At home against a side with a really poor away record, and as well, are they going to be feeling the effects a bit of playing in midweek with some of the players not being at their freshest? So I went for a 1-0 win to Everton.
All right, we go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham against Fulham, London derby, under the lights, 8 p.m. kickoff. We have both gone for 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I've gone for the win, and obviously Spurs...
Is that heart or head?
I think it is head. Look, I know we haven't won a home game since the opening game of the season. We're playing a team that hasn't won an away game all season. So it's a stoppable force versus a movable object. This one, I guess you could call it that. Fulham are a team. They do make it difficult for the big sides. Marco Silva is a very clever tactician in that sense. I think he does usually come up with plans and change his approach for these kind of games. But I think from Fulham's point of view, away from home, they've been a bit toothless so far this season, and they've really struggled to get points on the road. And I think Tottenham, they know they need to get a win in this game. They know how important it is. They had a bit of a reaction on Wednesday night to the defeat against Arsenal, albeit still succumbing to a defeat against PSG, but we saw a lot more energy. So I think with the home crowd, I think knowing it's a home game, knowing how important it is to get the win, I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs. But Fulham not having won an away game, let's just hope Dr. Tottenham doesn't turn up on Saturday.
That's always the fear coming into games like this. But look, Spurs in midweek against PSG, I think we were a lot better. Let's just put it that way. We were a lot better than what we have been in previous weeks, and in my opinion was a step in the right direction in terms of the performances we want to see, pressing from the front. We were able to break down PSG. We were able to create some chances, essentially, which we haven't been able to do for quite some time. Some would argue that PSG allow you that space, and maybe that's where Spurs and Thomas Frank tactics kind of thrive off, and Fulham won't really allow you that kind of space in behind, which is fair enough. But things have got to change. Things have got to turn, and I feel like the team would actually take a bit of morale and from that performance against PSG, and hopefully we can take it into this one. Atmosphere under the lights at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium hopefully will be big, and hopefully the team can react to it. So I've gone for 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. And we move on to Crystal Palace against Manchester United. Both of us gone for Palace wins. Sim's gone for 1-0 to Palace. I've gone for 2-0 to Palace. And yeah, look, we all know Palace are a very strong team, particularly at Selhurst Park. They've got teams that can really hurt. They've got players that can really hurt you, particularly on the counter-attack, as well as Mateta up top. Manchester United, they're struggling with injuries in their forward line at the moment. Sesko's out. Cunha, I'm not sure if he's out. Is he out? Yeah, definite. So that is a large chunk of their forward line, and I just can't see them. Like, apart from Mbeumo, who's really going to score for them? Maybe Bruno from a set piece or something like that, but he's playing a bit too far deep. I can't really see Manchester United hurting this Palace backline with Mark Guehi and Lacroix and what's the other chap's name? Richards. Yeah, so they've got a really formidable backline, and when you've got no real firepower and you've got players missing in that sense, then it's going to be really difficult for Manchester United. And I can see Palace with Ismaila Sarr, with Mateta, with Kamada, with Adam Wharton putting the strings, with Munoz.
Pino as well.
Pino scored his last game, and also Munoz out on the flanks as well. So, yeah, I think Palace has got more than enough to win this game.
Yeah, I've only got for 1-0. Obviously, Palace are going to match up United's formation as well with a back three. So any kind of numerical advantage kind of United do sometimes get in that system, I think it's going to be cancelled out. I think Palace are much as well more used. I think are much better in this system. They're much more aggressive, and I think they play in a much better way than Man United. As much as Man United looked like they found a bit of form, they are now 3 games without a win, and they lost their last game really tepidly as well. You've got to say, really embarrassing to lose the game they did against Everton. Palace, I did play midweek. They played Thursday against Strasbourg away. Did lose the game 2-1.
Do they rest many players?
I actually don't know, but I know Mitchell scored. I don't know what their starting lineup was, but I'm going to assume they probably went fairly strong because I think the Conference League is very important to them, and they don't really have a big squad. So I think I think they might feel the effects of it a bit, but I agree with you. I doubt Palace. I doubt United are going to score 2. I can't really see them breaking down this Palace side. And if you can't break down 10-men Everton, I think they're going to struggle even more against Palace away. So I've gone for a 1-0 to Palace.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Palace team now. They pretty much went full strength. All right, Villa against Wolves. We've both gone for 3-1 to Villa. Obviously, Rob Edwards, the new manager of Wolves, first time out last time. Not great. They lost without scoring a goal. And Villa are on really good form at this moment in time. I think Villa are a team that can, if you try and attack them, they can really pick you off with the players that they've got. And Wolves, I just can't see a way where Wolves stay up in this division, and I can't see a way where they go to Villa Park and take anything from the game, even with a new manager bounce or anything like that. It's just like they just seem so low on confidence at this moment in time. The only results I see them getting are against the teams in and around them, and that's only a maybe. So when you go to Villa Park, Villa have been so strong at home for the last couple of years now under Unai Emery. Start of the season they were poor, not getting consistent results, but now they're getting those results, and I just can't see anything but a convincing Villa win here.
Yeah, and I think obviously they did play on as well on Thursday, beat Young Boys 2-1, good win for them. They've just got momentum, don't they, at the moment, Aston Villa. They're getting over the line, they're getting good wins, and I think Wolves, it is a Midlands derby, so they might, find something extra. They might get up for this, but I just think Villa are going to have the superior quality on the day. They've got good players, and I think they've just got that bit of momentum. I can see them having a really fast start. I think Thursday, their legs might start to fall away late in the game. Maybe Wolves will start to get back into it. And also, that's kind of a typical kind of how Unai Emery teams go a lot of the time. They take early leads and then they let the opposition back into it late in the game. But I think they're going to be too strong, Aston Villa. I think the momentum will take them over the line in this one. And I think Rob Edwards is going to have to wait even longer for his first point.
All right, Forest against Brighton. We've both gone for Desmond Tutu.
Yeah, Forest actually rested quite a lot of players on Thursday, so they should be fresh in this game at home to Brighton. With the Gibbs White got a rest, they had quite a few players, and I think again a game of very contrasting styles. Sean Dyche, we know how his team like to play. Brighton under Hertzler only have one way of playing as well.
7-0 last time these two played.
It was 7-0, yeah, under Nuno, which was incredible. What a result that was. But I just think Brighton are playing. I know they're not getting like incredible results, but they're on like decent form. They haven't lost too many games recently, so they've become a bit harder to beat. Welbeck's in good form, and I think Dyche obviously making Forest a bit more resolute. You see they're a bit more of a solid team, and as well they're a good counter-attacking team. I'm assuming I can see them exploiting Brighton a bit as well. So I couldn't separate it. So I went for 2-2 here.
Yeah, look, both these teams on form. Nottingham Forest, I think they've avoided defeat in their last 5 games, won their last 2 games or 3 games even if you count Europe involved in that. So they're definitely a team on form. Brighton, on the other hand, it's kind of a weird one with Brighton because you never know which kind of Brighton are going to turn up. Sometimes they're really good. They're a very inconsistent team, but on their day they can just play anyone off the park really, particularly a team like Nottingham Forest. So I think Brighton are going to go at it. Forest are going to try and pick them off. I'm not sure if Chris Wood's returned or anything like that, but Igor Jesus is a bit of a handful like he proved last week. It's hard to split these two sides when going up. It's mad to say that when they won 7-0 last time, but yeah, 2-2 I've gone for. Next one is West Ham against Liverpool. We've gone for the opposite scorelines here. Sim's gone for 3-2 to Liverpool. I have gone for 2-1 to West Ham. And look, Liverpool lost 4-1 at home to PSV, lost 3-0 at home to Nottingham Forest. They have to respond in this game. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen with the manager. But surely you think, if they lose this game convincingly, what future is there for Arne Slot at Liverpool? I've got a feeling that you might see a bit of a response from Liverpool in the early stage of the game, but I think West Ham will break the deadlock, and once they do, I feel like Liverpool heads will drop, and they'll end up losing the game. I see it a bit tighter than maybe what they've shown at Anfield the last couple of weeks, but I actually fancy West Ham for this game.
Yeah, I don't know whether it will suit Liverpool playing a team like West Ham who are going to probably give them control of the game. They're probably going to sit back. Nuno's going to look to exploit with Bowen. Callum Wilson's obviously got a brace the last game, so he's in good form as well. So I think West Ham in confident mood, and I think they might take the game to Liverpool a bit. Maybe they're going to smell blood a bit in this game, and maybe if they do that too much, could Liverpool? I mean, I don't know if you call it spring a surprise by winning the game, but
it is at this moment in time.
Yeah, I guess with the way they're playing with all the losses currently, 12th in league, which is crazy. But Curtis Jones had a bit of a rallying cry. I saw him midweek, telling the Liverpool players, you just got to stick one on them. Just got to put your foot through someone, and maybe they'll start to be a bit more aggressive in this game. Maybe there'll be a bit of reaction. So
there's going to be a Liverpool red card in this game.
Yeah, potentially. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Salah gets dropped, because I think at the moment he's just not doing it at the moment. So I just fancy a similar Liverpool win to what they were getting earlier in the season. Maybe not convincing, but a last-minute winner after a tough game. So I went for 3-2 Liverpool.
If Liverpool do lose this game, do you feel like Arne Slot is on the brink? Do you think he'll get sacked after the game?
I mean, all the noise saying that he's not in danger at the moment, but that can change very quickly, can't it? And we've seen it before. Mourinho got sacked the season after he won the league because the form was about like this. They're just losing every game. Ranieri happened to him. So this isn't like something that's impossible to happen. Yeah, I don't know. Liverpool's an odd one because they usually give managers time, don't they? They usually give them... they don't usually... I can't remember the last time a manager got sacked just after a poor run of form. Doesn't really happen at Liverpool, but this is very bad.
This is extremely bad, and let's be real. The games, even though they were winning games at the beginning of the season, they weren't great, and a lot of them were fortuitous wins. So I think all season they've been some sort of warning signs all season, haven't they?
I agree, but it's about whether the hierarchy believe, look, he won the league, and do we give him just that time to figure out, even if it means we don't achieve our goals this season, do you trust him moving forward that once he gets the formula right, he will be our manager moving forward, or is it too far cod? Is it a sense that you need to do something to save the season? Has Slot lost the dressing room, all those kind of things? And when Curtis Jones is saying those kind of things, it kind of implies Slot is struggling to motivate these players, and that's a problem. That's
a big worry, a massive worry. I saw a report, I don't know how true it was, saying it's very split in the dressing room about the manager. Some senior figures backing him, and some players not backing him, and the senior players, which I understand, like Van Dijk and Salah and these kind of people. I mean, they're not even going to be there for much longer.
That's a problem. In fact, that's true. Yeah.
All right. Game of the weekend, first v second, Chelsea against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. Both of us gone for 1-1. The two form teams in the Premier League really going at it. And I mean, I can see Chelsea. I see Arsenal really kind of sitting back and absorbing the pressure and trying to hit Chelsea on the counter-attack and going for set pieces and stuff like that. Albeit they have played some scintillating stuff against Spurs, and in the second half against Bayern Munich, they kind of just tore them apart in that second half, and some really good attacking football on display. But I feel going away to Stamford Bridge, I think it'll be a bit of a different performance. I think Chelsea will be the ones taking the game to Arsenal. And Chelsea are going into this very confident, so I can see them taking a point, but it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, I feel, for this one, look, Chelsea are playing very well as well recently against the bigger sides. So Maresca's quite a smart tactician. I don't think he's going to give Arsenal as much as Bayern and maybe Spurs have done. I think Maresca's one of these managers. I think he's one of these managers in the big games. I think he plays a smart game. He doesn't, unlike Bayern on Wednesday, where Bayern don't fear anyone. They're going to attack you, and that kind of played into Arsenal's hands. I don't think Maresca's going to do that. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be, I think not a lot of space for both sides. Both sides really like to have control. And so it's going to lead to maybe a game where set pieces make the difference. And I've just feel like at Stamford Bridge, they're in a confident mood as well after the Barca game. So I've gone for them to get a draw. But if Arsenal do win, you might as well get the ribbons on the trophy, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. All right, star men. So we're going to need to take a VAR check because me and Sim have both picked Erling Haaland. So Ben, who picked him first?
It would have been Sim.
Sims.
Oh, come on. I don't know if that's a good thing, actually, because usually when this happens, he doesn't score. So but surely Leeds, and he's been rested. There's like no reason why he's not going to score like 5 goals.
Yeah. All right, so I am going to go for... I've got 3 players in my mind.
You can only pick one of them.
I know. All right, fine. I'm going to go for Ryan Cherky.
Cherky.
Yeah, Ryan Cherky. I think I've been so impressed with Ryan Cherky over the last couple of weeks. I think if anyone outside of Haaland is going to score for Man City, it does look like it could be him. And he's also, creating all the time as well. Such a good creator in Ryan Cherky. Great crossing him, great passing him. So I'm going to go for Ryan Cherky.
Yeah, and Haaland needs no explanation.
No explanation at all. We both picked him. We both picked him for a reason. Yeah, I think Haaland is literally he's going to get more than a hat trick.
He's guaranteed at least one. Surely
he's guaranteed a hat trick. Literally, like 1 is nothing for him. Like he's guaranteed at least 2.
He was rested like in midweek,
Yeah.
so like he's fully fresh.
Yeah,
It should be an easy pickings for him.
yeah. So when the other players picked Haaland, especially in a game like this, it's just about trying to not have such a big back gap, basically.
If I offered you a brace, are you taking it?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, well, that is Predict the Prem for this weekend. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below. Let us know who you think is going to come out on top, me or Sim, this weekend. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you after the weekend.